Just want to I want to address something that you just said that I think it was wonderful. Number one, I love this big idea, the big picture idea. And let me tell you what I do to kind of incorporate those big ideas into my life. I write out, it could be like 4 or 5 goals that I have for myself. It can be financial, but it can also be other areas of your life. I mean, it's making $1 million is a mindset, and to have that abundance mindset, you need to have abundance in your life in all different ways, so wealth is not just how much is in your bank account. So number one, I'll give you a technique that I do with this big idea. All of my big ideas, I record myself saying them with nice soft music in the background, and I say it over and over again and repeat. So when I go running, when I'm doing like cleaning the house or doing the dishes, I play them on my headphones over and over again. When I'm sleeping, I play them over and over again. And guess what? Sometimes things just fall right in your lap because it's like the law of attraction. I mean, y'all know about this. I mean, it worked for Oprah Winfrey, so it's got to work for the rest of us. Ain't nothing that special about Oprah. We could be in our own, whatever you believe about Oprah aside, she's successful. She has abundance, and follow what she does. She gave you the plan in all of her talk shows, right? So incorporate that into your life. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing is that celebrate all of your successes. Sometimes there's always going to be some setbacks. There's always going to be things that happen to you financially and otherwise that's less than ideal. Yes, recognize those things, but also any place in your life where there's success, where you're going towards your goal. You're not at $1 million yet, but you're getting there. Pay attention to those things. Have gratitude and appreciation for what comes your way, for the people who come into your life that helps you along the way. We all live in our hero's journey, right? And in the hero's journey, you have helpers along the way to get you where you need to be. Acknowledge that, have that for gratitude and appreciation. So that's the second thing that I wanted to say. So the third thing I wanted to say in terms of trauma, listen, life does not guarantee that things will go your way. You're always going to have bad things happen to you. It's what you agreed to when you came here on earth to be born. Bad things will happen to you, but it doesn't have to be traumatic. The trauma happens when you don't have a nice, safe space to process that trauma, to process things that have happened to you. But as soon as you have a place where you can process and talk about your thoughts and feelings, it's not trauma. So I think that people throw the word trauma out because something happens that you don't like and they think, oh, that's traumatic. Well, it doesn't have to be, because you can have a place, such as my co-host here, any one of us can help you process all of these things that have happened to you that was less than ideal. So anyway, Lene, I hope that answers your question.
It did, and it answered it good. And when I heard your phone go ding, or somebody's phone go ding, I realized my laptop was about to die. And so I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and put it on the charger real quick before I reset, and just say thank you so much to everybody that's in the room. Thank you for joining us on today. This is Fly Nubian Money. If you like what the Queens are saying and you want to continue to watch us on a daily basis, you can text the word Queens to 87948. It says to receive your book, but I'm not sure if you're going to actually get a book today. That's Queens to 87948. That way you can be notified whenever we are going live, which is Monday through Friday. I believe it is 1 o'clock Eastern. Somebody correct me if I am wrong. But thank you so much for being here with us today. We are talking about how to make your first $1 million from scratch. All right. So I apologize if you guys hear my little show notes right here. So you might hear a little flapping of the paper in the background, but we're going to act like we don't hear that. So before I want to transition into actually the investing part of making the $1 million, because we kind of talked about the mindset, which is the most important part. And it's the first piece, the ability to say, I'm going to make $1 million. And notice I said, I'm going to make $1 million, not I want to make $1 million. I am going to make $1 million. And then be strategic in what does that look like, right? Is that you have to understand the first $10,000 that you're going to make. You have to understand that you got to make $100,000 then before you can get to $1 million. So let me ask how to make. Okay, so I see a fly on the screen. There you go. So let me ask, Madonna, what was it like when you made your first $10,000, and then what was it like when you made your first $100,000? Was there a difference? Did it feel different? Was the strategy different? Was the mindset different? How did your first $10,000 feel versus your first $100,000?
Well, it is a progression. But yeah, when you hit that first 10,000, and depending on where you come from, you're like, that's the pinnacle. But then by the time you hit your first 100,000, then you have a strategy that you can follow. Now, it's a strategy that keeps growing because nothing stagnant helps you continue to grow. So you have to keep learning, training, referrals from people, working the business. So once you get there, it's a big jump from that 10,000 to that 100,000, but it's because you're continually growing. And don't ever think once you hit that point, okay, I'm there now. Okay, so I'm done. No, you're never done. You have others to teach. You have to keep yourself going. And so it's just a progression. It's never, and I'm not talking about greed. I'm not talking about greed, but it's a progression. And when you want to see yourself help more people, and helping more people brings you more money, you're enjoying what you're doing, then it's just a wheel that keeps turning.
I remember when I made my first $100,000 in a year, not 100,